So originally when I bought the Corolla, I had in my mindset that it would be nothing but, you know, oil and gas, that's it, you know, just don't care about the car at all. And I actually got a comment on my last video of the walk around, which turned out to be absolutely true, and I kind of knew that would be the case, so I'll read the comment right now. Alright, so here's the comment right here. It says, "This is pretty cool and sad at the same time because I love the FX, I love the hatch and the boxy wedge shape, but I also know that a car like this would be a good car to treat like shit, and you're right in doing that. I just think that it could have a second life as well though. Maybe as you drive it more, you'll start to feel bad for the little guy." And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I like the fact that he said little guy too. That just made me feel like a little bit more sympathetic about the car because it just drives so good and it runs strong. Like, it's pretty quick. And now that I cleaned it up and it's not, you know, looking like it's been sitting for 5 years out in some backyard, it looks and drives really good. I mean, it's still a 31-year-old Corolla, but that comment just kind of resonated with me. I was like, you know, maybe I should give it a second lease on life because it really does deserve it. They're pretty rare. Yeah, so I ended up doing a bunch of stuff to the car, which I'll go over right now. I'm working on redoing my cooling system a little bit, everything pretty much besides the water pump, because I know that's fine. You hear all that rust on the inside, and yeah, it just doesn't sound good. These hoses are pretty much solid. There's like no give in them whatsoever. That rusty looking stuff is conveniently draining through the splash shield hole. And that is just pure rusty water. That was my coolant right there. So good thing that's gonna be going away. Yeah, so I obviously have the valve covers off. Doesn't even look too bad in there. My 2JZ is a lot worse. It has a lot more sludge, so I'm pretty happy with this. 185,000 miles, cam lobes look great. Can't really complain about that. So I decided not to paint the valve covers because if I paint them, then that's gonna be the only nice thing in the engine bay and everything else is gonna look like crap. So I think I'm just gonna leave them raw, like this. So I think they look fine the way they are. Just gonna put them on and just rock it like that because I think it'll blend pretty well and I don't want to wait for paint to dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them on right now. So now here's the updated engine bay. Looks a lot nicer, obviously, because put my magic touches over a few things here and there. Right now I'm doing the manual transmission fluid because somebody in the last video said fourth gear might be popping out because of you know, little or no fluid. I don't know if that's true or not. I just think it's a synchro, but it made me think, I've never checked the actual trans fluid on this thing, and because it's a manual it has no dipstick, so I'm just gonna change it right now. I already have the cover off and everything ready to go. When you're doing manual trans fluid, always, or any transfer case, differential, any kind of fluid change like that where there's a fill and a drain, always undo the fill plug first. That should be common knowledge with everyone who's done this before. So the thing is, if you take the drain off first and drain all the fluid out of it before you undo the fill plug, and if this strips or doesn't come off, or you can't get it off for some reason, you will have a transmission which is unfillable unless you take off the transmission and try to fill it through the drain when it's on its side. So that is rule number one when you're doing something like this. Always undo that one first. So we're gonna do that right now. I'm using this brand new ratchet and Allen headed socket set for the first time I got for Christmas. And all I can think of, welcome to a world of pain and misery and oil, grime, and dirt for this socket and ratchet right here. So it's already getting good use today, so a lot more to come. Alright, finally got the drain plug loose. I ended up having to go buy another socket that actually fit. It was pretty stripped, so I had to file back the bolt and hammer a socket on there. I doubt it's ever going to come off, but I'm really interested to see if there's going to be any fluid in here or not, so we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, there's fluid. Doesn't look too good though. Something tells me this motor mount is a little past it, considering I can wiggle the bushing almost out of it with a screwdriver. I already unbolted it obviously, but yeah, I can't wait to see what this thing looks like when it's out. It's gonna be trash. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that's gonna fix the clunk. That's a lot of play. So basically, the motor was just moving back and forth when you get on and off the gas, because there's obviously so much play in this destroyed bushing. Yeah, so that was kind of just knocking around in there. This is the replacement, obviously brand new, gonna fix the problem, and very little to no play at all. I'm actually gonna reinforce the front bushing right now. Gonna take it off the car and put some plastic in there, and if I can't find like polyethylene to kind of put in the voids of the bushing, I'm just probably gonna use like wood or something to kind of fill the gap. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is a new mount, and there's just a lot of play. I mean, I'm used to like, you know, polyurethane or Delrin bushings in like my drift cars and stuff, but this is just gross. So I think I'm just gonna fill the inside of it with some kind of hard plastic or Delrin, something like that I can find around the garage, and then just do that, because this is pretty gnarly for a new bushing, so pretty junk. I had to drop the cross member to get the rear mount out because it was hitting the steering shaft back there, or the steering rack I mean. So pretty easy stuff. Working on front wheel drives is such a nice change from rear wheel drives, because stuff is just all in the engine bay and you don't have to like get to the trans tunnel or anything back there. It's just nice. So I'm gonna take this out and see what I can find to reinforce this, and here's the stock play for measure, and then when I reinforce it I'll show you what the difference is. Alright, so it's still loose on the car, but I thought I might as well show you the slight difference that does make. Obviously this is a free way to make your mounts more rigid, and yeah, you can still see I'm having to move it pretty hard to get it to actually move. So before it was kind of effortless, and yeah, that's like the max it can go. So again, it's loose. I haven't tightened this yet, but yeah, so that's going to be a lot more solid. There's virtually no up and down movement, but there is a little bit of twist, and this will never get subjected to side lateral movement. So I feel good about that. That's really cool. So I'm going to bolt up the cross member right now and tighten everything back up and put the splash shield back on, and we're done under here. Alright, so here is the finished product. Cool thing about this is it doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to function. So I ended up putting like heater core hose in here just to act as like a rubber isolator, and then polyethylene little clips and brackets right here on the top, and a metal bracket inside of this rubber heater hose. So it is a whole hell of a lot stiffer. Alrighty, everything is done. That was nice and easy. Motor mounts, trans fluid, done. So that's going to be a huge difference to the car. Now we're just going to put back these little plastic covers, I guess so the bolts don't corrode. I don't really know what they're for, but they were there when I started this, so we're going to put them back on. Will they be cooperative? Yes. There it is. Alright, that one's on, and then I'm gonna rear one, but splash shield goes on last, so pretty perfect. Alright, splash shield's on. I'd call that job done. Next is gonna be brakes, definitely front and rear, because the pads, I just inspected them, they're pretty worn. I'm gonna have to look at the timing belt as well, and if that's bad and cracked and old, I'm probably gonna do the water pump while I'm at it. So just giving this thing a refresh because it definitely deserves it. It is a solid runner, solid car. Yeah, put the wheel back on for now and lower it and give it a test drive. Want to see something sad? Oof, man. All the suspension arms are out of it. Open diff is installed. Stock struts and springs. Stock suspension, obviously it's raised. Pulling the motor out this week. No interior. That's sad. Car's back together, running real good. Driving video is gonna be next. I don't really have time today to do it, so yeah, here it is. I took the carpet out because it was gross and moldy and it leaked water in the inside, but I fixed that now and just did the bed liner. Put a new shift knob on it and got my only nice steering wheel I have, which is the Momo on there. It looks a lot better, feels a lot better too. So got my mirror on there. Pretty good daily now, and it's clean. So yeah, I did the radiator and hoses, new cap. Yeah, that's part of a BMW hose right there. And then this one is from like some kind of Audi. I just sourced that because it looked the same. They don't make this hose anymore from Toyota, so I just joined it right there. So it's kind of a hybrid. New distributor rotor, cap, and wires. New spark plugs, cleaned the valve covers. And I did the trans fluid, thermostat, and all 4 motor mounts, and well, all 3 motor mounts and the transmission mount down there. So that's cool. Did a power steering flush on it as well, oil change, and I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much it. So, and I cleaned everything. So yeah, I'm gonna rip this thing around next video, drive it around and do a video on it, like a review. Yeah, but for now, thanks for watching. More to come soon, especially on this car that's going away. Most of the cool guy stuff is sold. It's sad, but let's be honest, the JZX content was pretty dead. I've had it for 9 months, which is super long for me. I go through cars a lot, so I can't wait to show you guys what's next. It's probably gonna be a couple months, so I don't know. Until then, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.